Owning a small business is tricky. It's kind of hard. Cornerstone keeps us tethered to God because there is no one writing the paycheck. There is no one, I can't make people come in to shop. I can't, there's nothing you can do. You can make beautiful things. You can be in all the right locations. But really everything that we need comes from the Lord's. I, over this past year, have learned that God is just good, whether the sales are through the roof or whether we're like, ooh, how are you gonna pay the rent?
Yeah.
I don't freak out anymore. I don't freak out. I don't stress out. God has taught me that He's just good all the
We've
time.
learned to be passengers instead of drivers.
Yeah.
She tells me what looks pretty, and I build it. I'm more of a, I guess, from the engineering standpoint, where hey, this would look cool. I want to see if I can pull this off. But that's as far as it goes for me. I'm not the designer, nor am I gifted at it.
One, we have an incredible team. We all collaborate and come together and kind of project and look and see what's going to be in style and, what's coming up next season, because we always want to, surprise you guys. We want to keep things fresh and interesting.
Yeah.
I love it that when people come in, they go, oh my gosh, it looks completely different than the last time I was here. And we want to maintain that. Of course, we have been super blessed by Magnolia Market because we have very similar aesthetics. So because of their success, that kind of trickles down and has been a blessing for us because people come in and they, it's almost validating because they're like, oh, this looks very much like, Fixer Upper or, Magnolia Market, which I'll take it all day. We have 4 currently. And they are all incredible, just women of God. They're insane, and it's super cool to see each of them work within their gifts. Maddie is our design manager. She went to design school in Savannah. Natasha is our we call her the executioner, but Natasha is the
She keeps me straight.
She keeps
That's
him
why.
straight.
She keeps me on task.
She just manages everything. She's like the glue that keeps everything together. Yep. And then we just added Tiara and Ansley, who are both just incredible women. So yeah.
It was weird kind of growing up in the military. I was always in charge and I was always in control. And for this, we're not in charge of anything. We are just along for the ride. And some days you're like, and in fact, it was just yesterday, and there's, sales are phenomenal this time of year, and things are well, but you're still going home. You're like, what are we doing? Like, this is nuts. Like, how are we going to get through this? And you look at all the chaos and the disorganization and just running around, and God pumps the brakes for you and says, hey, you just ride. Put your seatbelt on and ride. And then, so was a big learning lesson for us, is to not try and be in control of everything and just go along for the ride, and it's been phenomenal. What a cool ride. Yeah. We've had this name Cornerstone for a long time. It was my favorite worship song about 6-7 years ago, and then I started making as a hobby furniture, and I would sell it at local markets when I had time off in the military. And I had a little sign outside that said Cornerstone Custom Furnishing. So we've had that name for quite some time. So now fast forward into getting in God's Word. Every morning I went to my office, I randomly opened the Bible to whatever page it landed on. And the first paragraph every week had the word Cornerstone in it. So that right there was telling me, okay, it's time to, this is probably it, So on day 7, when I walked out of my office and she looked at me and she's like, what are we doing? I was like, we're opening up a business. And she's like, oh no. So that's how we started. Everything else was,
God just kept opening door after door, and we visited downtown, went across the street for a cup of coffee, and this space had a for rent sign on the door, and Mike's like, hey babe, we should go check that out. I was like, okay. And we peeked in, and we only have 850 square feet. And he was like, I think we should call and go and see it. And I was like, for what? We can see everything from out here. He was like, no, we need to do this. And so we called, and we came to see it. And we started Cornerstone with $6,000 and God's goodness. Yep. And we have been able to sustain since then.
I love building tables. Out of all the furniture, that I've built, between barn doors and console tables and beds, tables are phenomenal for me. And using maybe an off species of wood or an exotic wood and trying some new technique or with a new power tool or something like that. That's fun for me. I think the biggest excitement for me is again trying to figure it out. A lot of our builds is just based off of pictures. I don't build off of plans or there's no measurements given to me other than what I in my head do. Tables is where it's at, and especially with the meaning of a table for us, or what a table means to us, is it's the center of every home. Everything happens at a table. People gather at a table. Laughter happens at a table. Asking permission to marry a daughter happens at a table. Tears, and most importantly, prayers happen at a table. So if we can provide that piece of furniture that maybe will draw more people to want to sit at the table, and that's where those things will happen and more memories will be created. So for me, that's the best thing to do. I love doing tables.
Cool. And I laughed and said, no. I'm like, I didn't get that from the Lord. I didn't hear that at all.